Hello everyone, my name is Andy Myers. I'm one of the co-founders here at New Summit Academy in the Bridge, Costa Rica, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our Experiential Education Department, what we call EE here at New Summit, which is all of the cultural engagement activities, the weekend activities, our week-long Aventuras, our life skills, a lot of student council, on-campus activities, club activities. But before we get into all of the really cool things that we're doing to engage students, I'd like to highlight our amazing team. We have 10 full-time experiential education mentors, along with currently one alumni intern. And what's so cool about these guys is that they come from all over. We've got guys from Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Argentina, Costa Rica, the US. We pretty much always have a rotating alumni intern that comes in and works for 1 up to 2 quarters, or even up to 1 year at a time, usually working with the guys in transition. And if you look at the amount of time that each of the mentors has had with New Summit, I think the average time is about 7 years, including up to 14 years. And so these guys really are what it's all about. They're amazing risk managers. They're fantastic listeners, fantastic facilitators when it comes to learning skills and the club activities, and constantly are engaging the students in a different perspective, both of their home culture and the culture at New Summit. So can't say enough fantastic things about these guys. I wish that you could meet them all in person, because they're a lot cooler than I am for sure. So let me talk first about our cultural engagement program. My favorite part of what we do. We're here in Costa Rica. We have been for 15 years now. And when we first started New Summit, it was really important to us to not be an island of foreigners. It was important to us to be part of the community, to be accepted as part of the community. So we literally went door to door, introducing ourselves, explaining our mission, having an open house where families could meet our students. And that's where we really started creating a network of homestay families and folks that really, helped us, find out all the really neat things that were going on culturally here. Our cultural engagement program happens not only just sort of informally on campus with the diversity of staff that students have at their disposal, but we have reserved our Sunday activities for the cultural engagement program. So newer students engage in a series of cultural activities that they go to each corner of the country and visit local coffee farms and see how sugarcane is being processed. They do the painting of the wheels on the ox carts, and once they've gone through that series of activities, then they would begin their homestays. Homestays, we match the family with the student's interest as much as possible, and so if there's a family that's really engaged in music or nature, we try to get a similar student or a similar interest. Same with sports and that sort of thing. And then they would spend basically the majority of the day on Sunday with that family doing whatever the family is doing. We don't do overnights. It's just usually about 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We drop the students off, check in with the family, pick them up afterwards, get a report from the family. And one of the things that I'm most proud about is that we don't pay our homestay families. And what we do is we put on a big picnic each quarter to thank our families, open up our home to them. We do bingo and have a big cookout, games and that sort of thing. So we really wanted people that were involved in the cultural immersion, the cultural exchange for the good reasons, not just monetary reasons. Okay, let's spend a few minutes on our integrated Aventura, although we could probably spend the rest of the afternoon talking about these. Integrated Aventuras are week-long adventure trips that happen in the middle of each academic quarter. Therefore, they're integrated into our high school curriculum. They also are our rites of passage programmatically. It's a curriculum that's designed to be progressive, so the students will go through the series of Aventuras with the cohorts that is basically around their same enrollment date. The Aventura curriculum will go from sea level through the major ecosystems of Costa Rica all the way up to the tallest point, which is Chiripo. So the students will really physically travel from the lowest point that they could possibly go to the highest point that they can possibly go in here in the country. and then also highlighting each of the major ecosystems here of Costa Rica. Our community service Aventura is the first one, and as it suggests, it's a week-long community service project. We look at sustainability, biodiversity, conservation, and each one of our Aventuras, we design an environmental education curriculum that goes along with our outdoor classroom, with the ecosystem that we're seeing. With the kayak, we're looking at mangrove ecology, watersheds. Corcovado is our next one. That's lowland tropical rainforest and forest succession. Then we go up to the cloud forest, where we're looking at macro ecosystems, biotic and abiotic factors that make up a community of organisms. And finally to Chiripo, which is our solo walking meditation, final rites of passage. The students have writing assignments throughout the Aventuras. They have the same notebook they refer to, which is cool to see when they're standing on the summit of Chiripo and they're reviewing what they wrote about themselves or what they were thinking in their community service Aventura 3 quarters ago, 4 quarters ago, and they're like, oh wow, I've really made these changes. The Aventura curriculum is designed not to be super comfortable. There's a lot of physical activity that needs to go on there. Expedition behavior, much like what the students are experiencing out in wilderness, but they get to see Costa Rica really up close and personally, and this is, for us, I think this is the one thing that students will always remember. The photos that are going on Instagram and their Facebook pages, what's going up in the room. We're really proud of our curriculum and our faculty that's able to facilitate that, our risk management on that. Again, we could talk about this for hours, but please, if you have any questions, shoot me an email or let's schedule a follow-up call, because I'd love to tell you more. And so now with COVID, what do we do, right? We're not able to be out and go on our integrated Aventuras, and we actually missed our round here at the beginning of March. And so instead we got with each cohort and they designed a quarter-long project that they wanted to implement on the campus. What was cool is that we looked at, COVID is actually an opportunity for us to leave our mark, leave a legacy here on campus, for students, future generations of students to come in and say, oh my gosh, who are these guys that did all of this, campus improvement and made the best out of a hard situation. We have one group that's painting a mural on the back of our music studio and sort of doing a beautification of that area. We have another group that is building furniture around our fire pit. We have a group that's creating an outdoor gym currently, and another group that's creating a mindfulness / hammock hut or pavilion. We have space in our weekly schedule where students are learning how to use tools and problem solve and collaborate. We have a weekly leader for each one of those. The pictures here don't necessarily do it justice. It's a lot of fun. I've been working with the cohorts over the last couple of weekends, and it reminds us of our old days where we're out creating and doing, and there's a lot of lessons to be had and a lot of teachable moments when creating a project, when trying to figure out why these don't line up the right way, and students are really getting into it for sure, and it's been fun to see. We're going to do a ribbon cutting ceremony, I believe on May 14th, and so we'll inaugurate all of the new elements to our campus for our Aventura cohort projects. So for the final stop on the Experiential Education virtual tour today is our campus life, and we're going to highlight clubs and student council in particular. Clubs are recreational activities that have learning objectives attached to them. So each element that you see there, climbing club, hiking club, surfing club, each one of those has a beginner, intermediate, and advanced curriculum that students sort of progress through. And so they're really focused on skill building versus just going out and doing, but learning fundamentals of all of those things and then adding progressively to it so that they can get better at it. Fosters a great deal of confidence. Students sign up for clubs each quarter. We have a club fair at the start of each quarter. Student council is a group of students that's elected by their peers to represent the student body within the milieu. They have a tremendous amount of weight in the community. They actually sit with our director team each week to bring up issues, to look at making improvements to the campus or our program, as well as to collaboratively, problem solve any things that are coming up in the community. They manage a budget each quarter so that they can buy things and direct money to campus improvement projects. As well, they coordinate all of their own recreational activities, using the budget, finding out what students would like to do, and coordinating and getting those on the calendar.